Hey everybody. Everybody probably know Holly from running, and I call it fueled by LOLs, but she, I think, calls it fueled by LOLs. And so we might be, talking about things we name or say different. We were just talking about swim brands we say differently. So Holly is also a longtime swimmer. And so she's one of my favorite perspectives in the endurance community. So I thought we would talk about swimming today. And because I've had some reels lately about swimming and been getting back to the pool and the lake, I guess ocean now more. Anyway, let's do a couple questions. I used Macklemore for the real music. Could you figure out why at all?
I didn't figure out why.
You didn't figure out why?
I did not figure out why.
That's totally fine. So it was funny because this actually has more to do with running. When you were running your marathon, like everybody drop your like club hits from like 2010 to
Oh,
12
now I
or
know
so.
where this is going. Yep.
And so I was like, Pitbull, Macklemore, I don't know. I have all these like, clearly I had playlists from that time period. Anyway, when you posted your playlist, like they showed up on there and I just thought it was funny. So I didn't find any Pitbull, like Take Me to the Hotel was probably appropriate for this. But that's how Macklemore ended up there.
Nice.
The other quickie is, so this is technically called Caffeinated Coaching, is the like podcast that I decided to do. But you know what? I have wondered all day. You don't really drink coffee, right? Do you drink anything caffeinated?
So it's so funny. I got the flu, like a really bad case of the flu about 2 years ago that left me like bedridden for a week. And my taste buds changed, and I didn't drink coffee during when I got the flu. And then after, I just haven't drank it, which is funny because before then I was always drinking coffee. But now I'm just like, I don't know. Now I don't drink it.
That's interesting because I once had surgery and like went without it because you can't have it for like
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. And I didn't drink it for a long time either. And then once you pick it back up, though, it almost just becomes habit again. But do you drink tea? Anything?
I do sometimes, but not really.
I have
I
an
drink a lot
interest.
of like noon or just any electrolytes now that it's summertime.
I think I just saw you with an electrolyte bottle, as a matter of fact.
Yep, it's true. It's almost empty because it's like 104 here.
Um, so I actually have a fun fact. I've never had an energy drink. Have you ever had an energy drink?
Yes, but they like give me anxiety. Like I have anxiety when I have energy drinks because they're my heart rate is just so high.
Yeah, that's why I've never like tried one because I'm just afraid of like my heart beating out of my chest or something. I'm like,
That's what it
coffee.
felt like. I was like, is this what a heart attack feels like? I think I need to go to the doctor.
Like coffee's enough for me. I'm good. I don't need to take it beyond that. So, uh, okay, so let's actually talk about swimming. Can you like tell everyone a little bit about your swimming background?
So I grew up swimming in like middle and high school, and then I went on to walk on to a swim team in upstate New York at SUNY Potsdam. Yay, State University of New York at Potsdam. It was like -30 in the winter, so going to swim practice there was very cold. But I swam through college. I was a distance swimmer. I swam the 500 and the mile, and I did make it in the conference semifinals, maybe the finals in the mile a couple of times. But yeah, so then after college, I kind of got burnt out and I took about basically from 2012 at the end after I graduated to 2018 or 19, I did not swim. Like I got into the pool maybe 3 times and I didn't want anything to do with the pool. And I cannot go to the pool without swimming laps. Like I don't think I'll ever be someone that's like, let's all go hang out at the pool. So 2019, I got back into the pool. And since then, I've done a few swim meets. Obviously, COVID, you couldn't get into the pool for most of 2020. I have done some open water swims, but I did those before COVID. I haven't really explored open water in the West Coast because, as you know, there's many sharks out here. And they scare me. Sharks scare me.
That's why I haven't swam much in the ocean out here. Well, and the one time I was in the ocean in Cabo, it like like a rip tide or something came, and it like tried to pull me out to sea. And the guy, I think, actually maybe died that day. Anyway, it ripped off like the bottom half of my swimming suit. This was a long time ago. And the guy on the beach selling sunglasses laughed at me, and it was a good time had by all. So anyway, I don't swim much in the ocean. I'm considering maybe trying it again here, but we'll see about that.
I love a good swim meet. I hadn't swam a swim meet in like 10 years, and I did one in 2021, and I was like, this is so fun.
Yeah, I was like, I know she did a swim meet, but I don't remember how recently it was. Was the last one in 2021?
I did two in 2022, but I haven't done any this year because for no reason, I just haven't found one that is like semi close by. They usually have one in Palm Springs, which is super nice. And it's outside, so it's even better.
That area is nice. I like that area. They swim in the reservoir there for an Ironman 70.3. And I've heard people say sometimes it's so low you can pretty much walk the swim.
Oh my gosh.
Like it was so cold when we went there in 2022. Everybody swam. It was like 52 degrees in the water because it's December.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, I swam in Phoenix in December in preparation, and I was like, so cold. So cold
Yeah,
here.
that's crazy.
I don't know how much I like swimming in the freezing cold. I like
I
outdoor
hate it.
pools, and yes, outdoor pools, heated pools, that sort of thing is good. So do you ever go to Master Swim, or do you ever go to their workouts, like Master Swim workouts?
I would love to, except for I live about 70 miles from the closest master swim, and I couldn't make it work with work. I would love if there was like a master swim program near me, but girl, I live like 30 miles from the grocery store. I don't have a master swim near me, unfortunately. I do have a couple friends that like to swim, so we'll occasionally swim together. One's like crazy fast. Like when we did the swim meet, I'm not joking, she was like 5 or 6 months pregnant and won everything.
Oh my gosh.
It was like amazing. And I was like, I don't want to swim next to you.
Yeah, no. Does she do the same events as you?
No, thank goodness she's a sprinter. But she does like, even if she does the same events as me, she would win.
You're like, go ahead. It's fine.
I'm like, you do your sprint thing. I'll just kind of plug along with these distance events.
I think that there's often like a difference between people who like shorter distances, which is funny because you love shorter distance in running too. But in swimming, you're like, never mind, I'll go longer in swimming.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird. I mean, I like half marathons. Marathons are so long. And anything longer than that, no thank you.
Which is funny though, because this wasn't supposed to be about running, but you run like long desert sand miles quite a bit too. So it's like, I'd rather not race it though, is what it sounds like.
Exactly.
And I think if I swam like a pool meet or something, I'd probably rather do the short distances. But then I prefer like the longer dawdling distances sometimes for running. So it's just a different sport, different preference, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
We have to find a swim meet now, and there's got to be one in LA. I honestly haven't done a lot of research on it, but I'm going to find us one.
You're gonna
I'm
find
committing to it.
Okay, woo. I will just keep waiting for you to find one. I'm not gonna go looking. So have you ever done an open water swim like race or event?
Yeah, I've actually done quite a few. A lot of them were like around when I was in college. I did a few, geez, it must have been 2018 time frame. I mean, I've done up to a 5K in the open water.
Oh, nice.
That one went parallel to the shore, so it wasn't like as scary. I used to do this one in the Long Island Sound that would go a mile out and come back a mile. So like halfway through, you were a mile from the shore. And like there was nothing but like these buoys, and you're like, okay, time to swim a mile back. It's actually borderline terrifying now that I think about it. But so I would say I've probably done 10 or 15 open water swims throughout the years.
That's pretty impressive. Like I don't know that many people who just do like open water swim races events. There's one here if you are, so since you're gonna find a swim meet, there's an open water swim event here in LA that's called like the Dwight Crumb swim, I think it is. And it's peer to peer from Hermosa to Manhattan.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Yeah, yeah.
It's August 4th, in case your
Ah,
schedule's clear and you want to drive 200 miles or whatever, 2 hours to LA.
I mean, it's like an easy drive for me, honestly. Sometimes it's like I go 100 miles in the desert in an hour, and then I go, well, that's a lie, like an hour 15 or hour 20. And then I go like 10 miles in LA in an hour. So
Yeah,
it
it
is
takes
usually
forever. Like
usually a pretty easy drive.
that, you probably do get a lot of it. The drive is before you actually hit the traffic, which takes
Yeah.
forever, it feels like. But I have committed not to swimming that, but to being on the beach cheering, and I'll bring tacos and things.
Oh, I thought this was dual participation.
It'll be dual participation, you and Jason, and I will just eat tacos and bring you tacos.
That's fair. Okay.
Bring your towel. I'm an excellent like crew member for events that, well, because so that's the funny thing about the posts I've been making. I developed a deep water phobia in 2021, 20, no, 2022. I developed like a deep water phobia, and I have been spending like a year working that out. And it's weird because I grew up open water swimming. And so I was just mentioning that yesterday or something, that it's strange for me to be like worried to hop in a deep pool when I used to just run off the end of a dock and not know what the heck was down there. And
Yeah.
you're just diving headfirst into the just whoo, into the
The abyss.
nothingness. Yeah, into the abyss where you can't see anything. And so like it's weird for me to look at the very clear pool bottom and be like, oh my God, that's scary. And it's weird because I'll be like, I can swim just fine. Why are you like, the 5 foot pool doesn't worry me? Why does the 14-foot pool all of a sudden bother me? So that's why I haven't committed to the Dwight Crumb swim, because I'm like, ocean sharks, deep water you can't see in again. But kind of funny, I told everybody that I would tell whether, so I've been working on this, and I mentioned in all the like posts I've done about it, I'll tell you whether I got in the deep water this week. And I did. I
Yay!
finally got in the deep water of the pool again, and I stayed for 30 minutes. Like,
Nice.
at first I was like, it's gonna be 5 minutes, and then I'm getting the hell out of here. And it was actually, I stayed in 30 minutes, it was fine. So that kind of brings me like back to you mentioning that you stayed out of swimming for quite a while and then got back into it. Do you have advice for people who maybe get away from swimming for a while and come back to it, like how to start up again, like short distance, or you think they should just go for it, or what would you say?
Oh my gosh. So when I left swimming in 2012, I was completely burnt out. Like collegiate swimming is so crazy. Like we were swimming 6 or 7,000 yards twice a day, or like 5 times a week or whatever. So like I was done with swimming. That just I didn't need any more swimming in my life, honestly. And neither did my hair. But when I got back into swimming around 2018, like my first swim was incredibly slow, and like I didn't even have a swim cap. Like I tried to use a swim cap from like 8 years ago or 7 years ago, and it just broke because it had been like probably just festering in my swim bag since then. It was like, so I just like got in and I swam maybe like 1,000 yards or so, and I stopped a lot. I didn't swim it straight, and I like took it easy, and I was like, I think I swam faster than this in middle school, honestly. But I tell people like no matter what you do, you're getting movement in, and it might not feel as great as it once did, or it might feel a lot harder. Swimming definitely feels a lot harder when you don't do it consistently because it's all form, but just do it. Do a little bit. Like you do 10 minutes, like, and that's more than you did yesterday, and that's totally fine. And I don't think that jumping in head first, doing what you used to do, no matter what it was, if you were swimming 1,000 yards twice a week, I don't think that you should just jump in and do 1,000 yards twice a week when you haven't been doing it. You should take it back easy, because if you're burnt out from something like I was, or you're injured, then diving headfirst is going to be like a recipe to get burnt out again or injured. So find like a little bit of enjoyment, do a little bit, and then realize like what is working for you now. Like it might be completely different than it was a year ago or 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, and it's crazy. Like, I'm doing that whole, I wouldn't say right now, but definitely the beginning, I was doing the whole, wow, I am slower than I have ever seen.
Right.
Like, I didn't know you could actually swim this slow. And I'm just like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm actually here. It was kind of like when I got into the deep end earlier this week. I was like, I don't think I'm going clear the 50 meters down to the other end right now, but I am in this water. I'm staying in this water and I am swimming back and forth in like the back half of the lane.
Yeah.
Like, I was just kind of like not ready, even though, you know, I've swam thousands straight in the smaller pool. I just wasn't ready to go 50 straight without, it's just so funny. It's all mind over matter, really.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the wall's there, the lifeguard's there. Like, I'm talking myself all into this, like, you're fine, you're fine. But that's not how phobias work and like getting back
Right.
into things. So I agree with you. Like, I would never just like jump back into that's the recipe for disaster in any sport,
Oh,
probably.
for sure.
Just trying to be like, you look at me, this is who I used to be. Like, maybe it's not who you are at the moment, though.
Right. And we all change, we adapt, our hobbies change. Like swimming's supposed to be fun. And if you're not having fun, you're just going to get burnt out or
Yeah.
injured.
You made the comment that like you can't be a person that necessarily like lays by a pool. Like if
Oh,
you're near a pool, you have to feel. And I'm exactly the same. I never heard anyone say that before because I have all these friends who are like, let's go to the pool and hang out. Let's floaty around. And I'm like, you can go to a pool and just like hang out. Like I've almost have never done that. It's just I'm here for the swim
right.
and then maybe I sit in a chair for 5 minutes afterward or
Yeah.
something. I'll never forget. Like I told you beforehand, like I have this weirdly amazing memory and it weirds people out. But I remember one of your swim was like coding next to the pool or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
And I was like, he just is hanging out there doing his own thing. It was a funny picture. Maybe you should bring it back. Like, this is what Tim does while I swim.
Yeah, that was at a swim meet. And then he had to count for me in the miles. So, and then he just went back to coding. He did not, I mean, he was a trooper, right? Swim meets are full day events, like with all the different events, they're full day experiences. And he stayed the whole day, but most of the time he was not paying attention.
Well, I mean, we like supportive people like that. It's nice
Exactly.
to
He
have
always
that.
supports me, so it's fine.
And you were at his mountain biking event recently, which I
Mm.
love the support that goes on between you two, even though you're separate, like a lot of the time when he's out for the military or whatever. And that's pretty cool because he doesn't strike me as a swimmer necessarily, and you're not a cyclist, but you still support each other. That's neat.
Yeah.
So I have a question here from the back room, actually. Do you
Ooh.
prefer a 25-yard length or like a 50-meter length? Like a 25 length or a 50-meter length when you're swimming laps?
I prefer 25 because, but then there's sometimes like when you're swimming, like I swam the 800 in a 50-meter pool and it went by so fast. Like I was like, wow, did I really just swim 800 meters? Like I was like, boom, boom, boom. Because it's just a lot, you're swimming a lot less laps. But I think in general, I prefer a 25-yard pool. I think the closest 50-meter pool is when the Santa Clarita pool is set up for 50 meters, but I'm not 100% sure when they do that. That's a super nice pool if you ever get around there, though.
I'll have to look at it. If you are ever around and want to go swim in a 50-meter pool, I have an in.
Oh, really?
Yes. So the university where I work actually has
Oh,
they switch theirs back and forth
oh,
depending on
nice.
the day and hour. But pretty much, I think every Sunday all summer, or maybe it's every Saturday and Sunday all summer, it's at the long length because they call it
Oh,
long course season.
right, right.
And the community gets to use the pool too. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
kind of, and they actually have a smaller one there too. So they have the 25-yard and
Mm,
then they have the bigger like competition pool.
that's so
And
nice.
yeah, and it's outdoors and
Oh, yeah.
it's a lovely pool. I mean, I'm very much appreciative to have that accessible all the time. Um, so you have done some open water, and I've done open water. If someone's transitioning from pool swimming, so a lot of triathletes are like this. They swim all winter wherever they live in the pool, and then all of a sudden they're faced with an open water swim and a bunch of buoys staring them down, like you mentioned in the Long
Yeah.
Island Sound. So, do you have any advice for someone who's switching from like pool swimming to open water swimming? How it's different, or what maybe to
Oh,
think
yeah.
about?
So Open water swimming kind of reminds me of trail running, where like a pool swim is like a road run. There are so many obstacles when you open water swim, whether it's a person that's kicking you in the face, whether it's an animal or the currents, or you don't know what's underneath you. Like there are just so many obstacles when you're over open water swimming. Usually I tell people to try and take it a little easier because you are dealing with that until you kind of get used to it. You're also going to have to kind of sight and see, like, where you are so you don't swim halfway across the sea, or swim the wrong direction, So, what I like to do is I like to breathe every three-ish strokes in sight because I easily am never swimming in the right, like, never swimming in a straight line. So, practice with that. You can even practice that in the pool, honestly. It might look kind of funny, but I tell people to practice it in the pool, especially if the majority of your events are in open water, because you're going to have to do it. And if you've been swimming with your head down, it can be so easy to just forget about that. And then you look up and there's like no other swimmers around you, and you're definitely like off course. So definitely sight a little bit more if you're swimming in the pool to kind of prepare. There's different goggles you can get for open water swimming too. I've never I've never been like a serious open water swimming swimmer. I've never been like, oh, I want to win this race or something like that. If I won, like it would be happenstance. But there are other goggles you can get that like reflect the sun and like help you, if that's what your thing.
You've used the Magic goggles, right? The Magic 5, or do you
I use
have?
so in college I always use Vanquishers. They're like Speedo, and I still love them. But now I use Form goggles, and they have like a screen like in the side that'll tell you how many laps you've done. They'll do open water swims too. So I'm obsessed. So you never have to like count your laps.
That's actually, so I've never tried those. I think it would, I don't know, for me, it seems like it would be distracting, but it's
I
funny
thought it would give
because
me a migraine, honestly,
it
because
doesn't.
migraines trigger, like I get triggered, but it's not distracting at all. I'm not sponsored by them. I just like love them. I truly believe if I did not have some Form goggles, I would not swim as much as I do now.
I can see that. Just FYI, like, I don't think you're sponsored by anybody. We can shout out sponsors if you are sponsored by any swim companies. Like, I'm not, so we can talk about any kind of brand that you want to talk about.
Nice.
Funny that you mentioned the Speedo Vanquishers, though. Those are my favorite goggles. I have them in like tinted,
Oh
non-tinted,
yeah. Do you have them
mirror.
in the clear? They look
Yeah, I
so,
have them in
yeah.
clear. I have like a pink pair that's
Nice.
tinted. Like I have like, and I keep buying them because I'm like, please don't ever stop making.
I know. When I came back to swimming, I was like, well, I need some new goggles. I really hope they make Vanquishers. And I was shocked they were exactly the same as when I graduated.
Yes, like
They
I
have
think
like a,
like
yeah,
5 years went by between my purchases, and I was like, oh, thank God they still make these goggles. I'm gonna be so sad if they ever stop
yeah.
making Vanquishers.
Those are the ones I use in my swim meets too. They don't fall off.
Yeah, they stay on and they stay suctioned really well. And
Then you have
so,
these like crazy under eye
oh,
marks for like
absolutely.
hours.
We had these very attractive pictures I put up in the reel of us with like goggle eyeballs and stuff.
So
I'm like,
cute.
yeah, look at my bags. They're so nice. Yeah, I saw that you went swimming in the middle of the day kind of thing today. And I'm always thinking when I swim before work or like middle of the day, I'm like, I'm gonna look like I didn't sleep last night.
That's why I used to not swim before work, because I was like, I don't want to look like trash for the whole work day. And I mean, that's like kind of vain, but also like when you're in an office, I don't want to look and like smell like chlorine even if I shower. So I've gotten a little bit better. I'll do it occasionally, and then I'll spend like an hour showering. And I'm not joking. Like if I finish at 7:30, I will not be showing up to the office before 9. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I got to get all this chlorine off and remove these goggle marks.
A lot of the pools here, I've noticed, are saltwater, which is nice. You're a
Oh, that
little
is
less
nice.
smelly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a little less. I don't find myself repulsive completely. I don't know if you have any funny stories that you just triggered a memory of mine because of work. I actually needed to go straight from like a board meeting that was all day once to get a swim done like right
Mm.
after. And I wore my swimming suit like under my
Oh
clothes
my
all
gosh.
day because I was like, I'm not
That's
gonna have time to change.
amazing.
I have this like really long swim I need to get done. This
Yeah.
was back in the days when I did triathlons more often. I may go back to it. We'll see. But first, I have to decide I can swim in the open water again and without freaking out. So yeah, I don't know. Have you ever done anything crazy like that? Like had to rush to work and kept your swimming suit on or something, like wet?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I have, but I will definitely like drive drive home in my bathing suit very often. And I live on a military base. So if I get pulled over, that'd be so awkward. But I'm
In your
like, I don't
towel?
really, I'd rather just like shower in my own house versus like a shower room.
Yeah, I don't like I would rather just keep my top on or something and then just pull shorts on and then go home and shower instead of messing around in a locker room or something.
That'd probably be smart.
Somebody, Adina watching, mentioned that Zags doesn't give you raccoon eyes. I don't know the brand Zags. Maybe you do.
I haven't heard of them. That's pretty cool. I'll have to try
Yeah,
them out.
yeah. Have to check those out
I'm always
sometime.
looking for ways to help me out in that department.
Yeah, me too. Like any kind of, maybe we'll have to start using, I hear that I've never tried it, Preparation H, like hemorrhoid cream takes away
Oh,
bags under your eyes. So maybe we'll have to try that.
this is a beauty channel now. You learn all the beauty technique
Yeah, what's your
tips.
favorite skin cream for after the swim? I actually don't have one of those, although I did try a new sunscreen that was like burning my face this morning when I went
Oh.
running. So I don't think I'll be using that very often.
I use Supergoop moisturizing sunscreen. I'm obsessed, honestly. It's kind of expensive. It's like $45, but it's so good.
I'll have to try that because I'm not usually too price conscious if it's going to make me not get burned and get skin cancer and my
Yeah,
skin
yeah.
will actually be happy with it. Oh, I guess it's Zogs, not Zags.
Also, I haven't heard of it. I would have been not known the difference, but I'm gonna look
Google,
up dogs.
Google would have helped us. We would have typed in like Zags swimming and it would have gone like, do you mean Zogs, bro? It would have helped us. I'm trying to think of so it's been almost a half an hour and it's been fun discussing like all things swimming with you. I do have a couple of funny questions. So, well, this one's not too funny. Do you have like a favorite pool accessory that you use for drills or anything, like a buoy, or do you prefer fins and do it? Do you do drills at all in your swims?
I do drills. I do not own fins anymore. I don't know what happened to them after college. Like they could still be at my college. I have no idea. And I'm like 3,000 miles from my college. I like pole buoy and hand paddles. I run a lot, and I'm also a terrible kicker with swimming. I hate the kickboard. I'll do butterfly kick instead of freestyle kick, but I like hand paddles or pole buoy working on just upper body work.
Yeah, I have used hand paddles and the pull buoy quite a bit. I hate kickboarding just because I'm so bad at it.
I'm
Like,
so like I think I could go backwards, honestly. It's like a true miracle how I made it through any college practice.
that's why I was talking about. I'm like, well, I could go to the end of the 50-meter pool, but I feel like I'd need a kickboard to make me feel better, and it will
Yeah.
take me an hour to get down there and back. So
Yeah.
maybe we don't do that today. Maybe
Unnecessary.
yeah, the kickboard and I always put it next to the lane, like I have some great idea that I'm going to use it, and then it just sits.
Mine always stays in my swim bag. I bring it to the edge of the pool every time, and it's always in my swim bag.
Those kickboards, they're gonna start crying that no one ever uses them. Although I saw this lady had this like very streamlined one at the pool. She shared the lane with me. It's a funny story. I don't remember if I posted anywhere, but she got this girl. I felt obligated to get in the deep end of the pool on Monday because there was a girl, one of the collegiate swimmers, jumped in my spot, and this older lady was like, "Hey, lifeguard, that's not her spot. That's her spot. You have to get her out." So the lifeguard throws her out of the lane, and I'm like, well, now I'm gonna let this lady down if I don't get in the pool.
Yeah. Gotta do it
So
now.
It was pretty funny. Like I was like, this lady's my hero. The world's gonna be all right. Like, but she had a very cool like kickboard that almost looked like a V, like a I don't know. I'm not a sci-fi geek, but the Star Trek emblem. That's kind of what it looked like. So maybe that would make us feel better about kicking or something. But so my funny question though is, you are known to your cats and most of the internet as Diner Lady. And
Ah,
and so diner lady, do you have a favorite like post swim snack or meal that you eat?
that's a good question. Usually, if I'm swimming, it's usually at night, so I'm going straight to dinner. So I just cook for dinner. Um, Now, what did I have today? I had like a protein bar after my swim before this. I have no idea what I'll make for dinner, but yeah, I usually, when I swim, I'm usually going into a meal right after because I don't know if you've had this experience, but I am like 10 times hungrier after swimming. Like, I think I could eat and swim. Like, running, I'm not always hungry afterwards, but swimming, like, I'm hungry during swimming. Just thinking about swimming, I become hungrier.
Yeah, I call it swamished. I'm
Mhm.
swamished because it's just like, why does this sport make you so much hungrier? Like running doesn't really make me hungry, but
Right.
swimming, I'm like, I always take a bar with me just to like stuff in my face afterward. Lenny and Larry, they make those cookies, those
Oh, yeah,
protein
yeah.
cookies. Well, they make a bar now too.
Oh,
They make protein bars, and so for whatever reason, I found them like the most like, not to alienate any brands, but there's one particular vegan bar that I've
hmm.
heard their protein powder is good, but their bars I just can't do, the no cow
Mhm.
bars. If you've ever tried no cow,
Oh, yeah.
I just personally don't care for them as much. But the Lenny and Larry bars I've just been like housing like every swim
Nice.
lately. Like, yay, food.
Mhm.
um what's funny? I totally just lost my train of thought on. I had one more question for you. What was it? I don't know. Do you have any like thoughts for the audience of just like anything else about swimming that might make them feel better about starting swimming or like getting back into it?
Oh my gosh, swimming is truly for everyone if you want to swim. I have taught an 80-year-old how to swim. Like they decided, I want to take swimming lessons now. This is the time. Never learned how to swim in their entire life, decided at 80. If you are just nervous about swimming, like you've never swam before, consider getting some swimming lessons. Like find someone that's right for you, private lessons, and like working on your form because that's going to make swimming so much easier. Like you can run on bad form and like even you can bike on bad form because I probably have the worst biking form. I can just only imagine. But you really can't swim on bad form. So work on the basics of just like doing form work, getting like even thinking of like getting a swim instructor to help you because you can really improve your swimming that way. And you might have never swam laps before, but you can learn. And if you're getting back into swimming, know that it's really a slow process. You can't beat that. You're not going to magically get in shape after like two swim practices. I thought, everyone's like, swimming's like riding a bike. You'll just pick it right back up. When I started swimming again, it took me months to like really feel like I was swimming fast. Now I kind of like I'll swim off and on. It comes, it goes, and I don't worry about the pace because I it just comes and goes.
Yeah, I would 100% say if you're not a swimmer to find like a coach to like take some lessons from if you want to learn how to swim. That's the big thing for a lot of triathletes is they just want to get through it
Right,
instead
right.
and then get onto the bike and the run, which is not like necessarily going to be fun for you and you may not even like triathlon. Like Holly does not care for the cycling part. It's not my favorite, which is why I haven't done a full distance Ironman. Like no one, like that's a lot of cycling.
Yes, a
but
lot.
but so like if you're gonna do something instead of just getting through it, you might have some fun with it, and being able to swim with better form, I
Mm.
think makes it more enjoyable.
It makes it
And
easier too, honestly. Like it might feel like this is like a waste and you're like, what am I even doing here? But working on your swimming form is like the surefire way to improve your swimming. Stay more relaxed in the water. A lot of people tend to tense up. They lift their heads like way up here. Head, tuck your chin in here and then stay relaxed and it's a lot easier.
yeah, I was having that debate with someone the other day. They were like, I thought it was like put your hairline at the water. And I'm like,
Right.
I like really feel like you need to, I guess maybe we were saying the same thing, but differently. Cause I'm like, I feel like you should be staring straight down with your chin tucked. So
Yeah.
maybe it kind of is at the same position, but we were just arguing the same exact thing. Because it sounds to me like you're like, yeah, chin tucked and
Oh
eyes
yeah.
down, which I
Chin
guess
tucked, eyes down in the
fits.
pool. I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of triathletes, they do open water so much that they're used to like having their face almost like you mentioned with their hairline out of the water.
Yeah, I once got kicked in the stomach during a
Oh,
triathlon
no.
swim. And it was someone like swimming, froggy-ish breaststroke. And she just like wham in my stomach. And I was like, oh, that was unpleasant. But to your point, when you're in open water swimming, like you're swimming over people sometimes, like everyone's
Oh
everywhere
yeah.
around you. And so that's my other thing, probably Holly would probably agree. You'll probably agree with me. If you start open water swimming after taking some pool lessons and stuff, I want to profess to everyone, take people with you who can
Oh
swim.
yeah.
Do not go by yourself. Do not try that alone.
Mhm.
Like, you need to have at least one other person. You should probably have a buoy with you, like an
Mhm.
orange buoy.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't matter what brand it is. Like, if I can give one PSA through this whole discussion, it would be like, don't go open water swim by yourself. It's
You can
dangerous.
never be too safe. Like you really can't.
Right. And that was what caused my phobia, was I got dizzy in the water while I was deep, and
Yeah.
everyone I was swimming with was on the shore already, like chitty chatting with their wetsuits like half
Mhm.
off. And so I was like screaming and like waving my arm for like somebody to swim out to me,
Yeah.
and like no one
No.
came.
Oh.
Thankfully, I had the orange buoy and I just like held on to it while the world stopped spinning.
Yeah.
And then I swam in like as fast as I possibly could. And thankfully for me, like I had years of experience in lakes and stuff
Mhm.
to go off of like what to do. But that's probably what causes the most drowning, is
Oh yeah.
panicking.
Oh, for
And so I'm glad that, I hope that's never anyone else, but that was a wild experience for me that's taken a while to get over.
yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate that you shared with everyone, your tips on swimming, and everyone, if you don't know where to find Holly, it's fueled by LOLs or LOL.
I do say LOL sometimes too. It
Okay.
just depends.
Okay. Because I don't know, I'm always like fueled by LOLs.
That
You're
makes
like,
sense too. I mean, I'm not too picky.
are you the secret person behind the old like LOL cats website? Remember the
No,
LOL
that would be
cats?
awesome though. If I was, I would not be secret. I would be like, I am the one. LOL cats was me.
Does it even still exist? I don't even know what
I
just
don't know.
made me think about that. I think because we both like cats, and we both like, I don't know, for a while there, I went on this like tirade of posting food, like, like nonstop. Like, here's the new restaurant I'm in tonight, and and so we have a few things, but I don't think we have any questions from anyone. So I think, unless you have something else, I think that ends the questions. I appreciate that everyone joined us tonight. And if you ever want to talk swimming or running again, we can have another chat about that. Maybe more updates on, if I actually am ready to swim that Dwight Crum open water swim. I think it's 2 miles, pier to pier.
I believe in you. That would make sense. I feel like it's about 2 miles. I believe in you.
That's a fun area to be too. Like the Hermosa Manhattan Beach area is pretty fun.
I love it. I love that area a lot. Redondo Beach, I like it down there too.
Yeah. I think you run the race at, what's the other one that's more by the airport?
Dockweiler?
Yeah, Dockweiler.
That's super nice. It's like good parking. It's like, I want to say it's $10 or $15 to park there. Maybe it's 7. It's either 7, 10, or 15. Don't quote me.
It has a lot of parking though, so Dockweiler.
Yeah, it has a
nice
lot,
too.
and they have RV parking too, so that's
Oh,
nice.
I did
If
not know
you
that.
know anyone with RVs.
I did not know that.
And if
All
you
right,
want to
well,
run, if you just, sorry, I'm like all about it. If you ever fly into LAX and you're like, I want to run somewhere, it's right there.
it's true. Dockweiler is like literally right there, and it's easy to get to and stuff from the airport. So I'm with you. I'm all about those like beach towns along the coast there. But we'll keep everybody updated on whether Holly comes to an open water swim or we go to a swim meet sometime.
Swim meet, swim meet.
Swim meet. Give me like the 50 distance score. All right. Well, thanks everybody. And thank you, Holly, for joining me tonight.
Thank you. It was great to chat.
Have a good night, everyone.